So, the thing is, that other piece is also, I think, for you, which is, no, we already talked about that. So it's more about the issue of, this issue of perfectionism. This
And
issue of perfectionism is literally that same question that ChatGPT channeled for me, which is, do I belong? Is there a place for me in this world? Will I be received? Will my truth, will, like, will my truth, my true value, will it be received by the world? It's beyond people. Because I know there are people who like my work, I know there's people who subscribe to my work, you know what I mean? But it's like the world, is there a place for me? That's why we go into perfectionism. That's perfectionism gives us the safety to put ourselves out there, right? But the problem with the perfectionism is that it's actually the act of putting the truth into the world that creates the truth. Right? Like, when you put that truth into the world, it interacts with the environment, and that is what it becomes. So if you're already making it perfect and you put the perfection into the world, it can't react, it can't respond, it can't adapt, it can't integrate. It just becomes a fixed thing that's separate. It becomes like an ornament but it doesn't have a purpose. So it's not alive.
I mean, if you think about it, it's funny that this concept of belonging came through to you, because I was actually reflecting on that quite a bit last week, this belonging. So if you think about nature, dynamic processes, if you think about evolution, it's both perfect and imperfect in the moment that is alive and active. Because what I'm realizing about the belonging, because we are a collective, there's something in us at a basic level that says we need to belong. So we join groups to belong, for an example, cultures, groups, religions. But then if I look at our paths in true evolution, so our paths, if I think about yourself, myself, others, when you're evolving, you're going on paths that make you not belong. And what I mean by that, I was reflecting on that. So you might think, okay, those insecurities, fears come up. So where do I belong? Where do I find the safety? So maybe I'm going to try this or that, or this group or that. But then there's still a gap. There's still like, okay, but I still don't feel like I'm belonging. And part of that process I was reflecting upon was that you observe, because you observe at so many levels, whether energetically, physically, you sort of say, okay, so this is what performance or perfection looks like to belong in this space, whether it's
This is how
career.
I can belong because this is how
Yeah,
everybody else is presenting.
exactly. So therefore, if I want to belong, let me learn the structure, and then I must present it in the same way. But think about the frustration of that and the non-action that comes from that. And there's so much effort, there's no openness to receiving. So then the reflection was, okay, because I was asking the question, why are we created as a collective that requires belonging or needs to be together, yet we're actually being shown that it's about the imperfection, it's about presenting in the moment in order to receive for the next moment. And then that's imperfect, but it evolves. If evolution's like on a spiral, not on linear, then you get information from that moment, like from yesterday for you, then you put that into play, and then it takes, so there's so many dynamic variables. Think of synchronicities that are working at the same time that are so alive, but that cannot be perfect, yet are perfect, if that makes sense. Because perfect in our ways, oh, it must look like this, then it's 100%. But evolution is always 100% and different. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, but the question of belonging is such a deep.
And you know, the thing is, we're supposed to belong. I think we're supposed to belong. Like, if you think about that idea of like, I'm thinking about, you know, how I always draw that creation thing of how everything was created from consciousness,
Yes.
right? I mean, we talk about like basically what the divine or consciousness is doing is creating or is creating reality in order to experience itself through
Yes.
diverse experience, right? So it's infinitely experience self
Through infinite experiences. Yes.
through infinite experience. So a blade of grass is one experience, I'm another experience, a bird is another experience, right? So then, if you think about it that way, we're supposed to belong because we're supposed to belong in that song. That's the one song, the universe, the Bhagavad Gita, the song, the divine song.
Mhm.
So we're supposed to belong because we're all part of that song.
So we all
But
belong.
what is mistaken is that we belong because we are alike.
Mm. Or of value based on.
Yeah, but how do we fit in? Normally, we end up wearing similar clothes to the people we hang out with,
Mm.
right? So we belong because we fit in. And actually, it's funny, like that lady, what's her name? Renee Brown. I think she said, like, actually fitting in is the opposite of belonging.
Mm. I like the word fit in because fit in and belong is different. And I think
Totally.
that's the point.
Yeah, so I think yesterday I belonged,
Mm.
and I think that's what was different. And I think that's maybe the breakthrough or whatever this different feeling I'm feeling is today.
Mm.
This grounded, like I have no desire to prove myself. I have no
Mm.
need. I don't even feel that. You know that there was always this subtle energy of, and it's not there. Like I think when it comes to social media, yeah, it's there. But it's not there. I want to actually ask you a question
Mm.
because there's this thing, but I don't know why I feel like I need more some feed some energy from that. So there's this feeling that yesterday actually Spolosophy was finally born.
Mm.
I wonder if there's something you can like feel about that or that you're getting about that.
So what's coming through is not that it was born as in for the first time, like a new baby is born, but that it was born into, I spoke about the spiral, that it was born and reborn, and now it's moved into its new evolution, its new space. So definitely born, but like in a new space. So it's evolved from where it was, but it is born. It's not just like, like in when they play games, there's different levels, and then you do a lot of activities on this level, and then you go to the next level. It's almost like that the first game is done, and now you've gone into this new dimension or this new space for philosophy. So it's almost created itself actually into a new space. Yeah. And the new space is a very different space to what you thought it may be or what was expected. And I think this is where this feeling is coming from. Because I'm just being given the feeling. And again, it's like the word that comes to mind is just silence when you're sitting and watching a tree, or you're sitting under a clear sky, or just sitting in sunlight, or watching a still lake. Keeps coming back in that space. So it's silent, but it's not quiet. It's silent, but it's alive. It's silent and it's sacred. Mm. And the more I'm bringing these words through, the deeper it's actually going. It's deep, it's safe, it's nourishing. It doesn't need to do more than what it is. Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think what I'm feeling is like I'm actually judging the previous thing of philosophy, saying it wasn't really born because it wasn't really doing anything.
And it was
Because I don't feel it I've done that much spolosophy. I have, but I feel now it is born in its truer form, in a truer form, or something like that. Because, or maybe it's me, or maybe it's again that judgment of what
I
was.
say it's like philosophy emerged from you. It is you. It's your journey. So when you say, I don't think I did that much with philosophy, it's because it's thinking of it like that. Just I am Neha. Here's philosophy, the business. And I haven't
But you
really
know
done,
what's, but not even as a business, but I almost feel philosophy is its own thing that is coming through me and that can only come through me.
yeah.
But it has its own energy or something. I don't know.
But created through you. You know, your example of the creation experiencing itself in multiple experiences.
Mhm.
So is philosophy a creation of you experiencing itself through multiple experiences as you evolve. I don't see it as
That makes sense too.
not a separate thing. It's part of you.
Yeah, but and also the thing you said about, like it's not at all what I expected. Like yeah, I always think philosophy of as in terms of action and emergency or,
Mm.
like high level mediation and blah blah blah. That's where I see the future, right? But yesterday was a space of like I was a priestess. It was like a prayer space. It was a temple. It was really a place of healing and transformation, and it was a place where everybody became like a like an earth keeper, you know. And that's
And
not
isn't
what I imagined this philosophy doing.
it's not. But isn't that amazing how you said you're the energy, the action, the mediating, but maybe we've been doing mediating all wrong. And that's why we have so many wars. Maybe mediation or whatever it may look like or be called
Like,
will not be necessary or not be that. It might be a
yeah,
different,
exactly what I did yesterday. Yeah.
yeah, it might be a different form of collaboration, even in disagreement, even in polarity. Um, because it's active, but it's not even a fire. Because think of the fire in your philosophy space. You know, that fire that just has, the campfire that you all watch, and it's also silent but powerful.
Mm,
So it's a new space, unexpected space.
yeah, and
Hmm.
how I feel today is very unexpected. That it would have such a feeling, like a momentously different feel, like I'm feeling different. That was not expected.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, this journey, whoa.
It's going deeper and deeper and deeper.
I feel something opened in self-expression yesterday through that, you know, even though I didn't do anything, like I said, very different than,
Mm.
but it was. What about you? How are you doing? What's been going on for you?
I'm resonating with the conversation and especially the belonging. And like yours is opened up in self-expression, I'm finding mine is opening up in the heart space. So, I'm finding, this whole relationship, um, thing and journey, and it was so interesting because I was supposed to travel and go visit to the States, and then that was quite strangely cut off. Um, so you say, I don't know, it was just like a weird message. No, don't come for this reason. And that, what was, firstly, it took me into a space of that panic, abandonment. Here we go again. Um, but it was quite, and I was sad, I was upset. I cried for like on and off for 2 days, even though I knew at a core level that this wasn't the relationship space. And then what happened was, I mean, practicing a lot just with working the same with emotions in the heart. When that comes up, sitting with that, not being distracted from it. So not doing what I would normally do, get up and do something. And then strangely enough, in a shorter space of time, so this was say Thursday, by Sunday, I had moved into just an acceptance space of what had happened, but I was feeling a lot more love. It was like my heart had broken some more, but it had broken open. I was actually able to feel more love, but even for me in that space, which hasn't happened before. So, like, I mean, I can feel love for my dog like this, and for you, and but when I would redirect it to myself, it was like always blocked, just stuck. It was like there was a wall, it wouldn't get through. And I've been concentrating on that. And then through this experience, and I knew this experience was exactly what it was supposed to be. I just had a knowing, like, I understand, I know this is where it's supposed to be. It's not, it's not supposed to continue. And instead of like trying to just eat away that pain or whatever the case is, even though mentally I knew this, I was like, it like broke a little bit more open. So now I'm able to feel even more love inside my heart. But what I've also been seeing, just like this belonging, because it's so weird that I was thinking about this last week, thinking also, in my life, I've been through so many different experiences, met different people, moved, but I can't seem to find a home. Like I can't seem to, I mean, I have a home where I grew up. My family's in different places. I have like like some friends, small group of friends that I speak to, but I can't seem to find, I'd always thought, there's these people with these friends for like, I mean, I have one friend for 30 years, but this group of friends that always stays with each other for years and years and years. My life doesn't look like that. It's like, it's almost like as the universe just puts me in places, but it can be very lonely. And I was also thinking, where's this belonging? Where's home? And it was again this realization around home is home is where you are, and home is can be anywhere. but the feeling of home is the work in the heart. The feeling, and work's not the right word, but the feeling of home is that the heart breaks and breaks and breaks and breaks more and more and more
And then
because
you're home.
because home is there
And then you're home.
and you're home, and that's belonging. Because if you are there and belonging, you can be anywhere.
Because
So
you belong, because belonging is actually nothing to do with the outside.
mm-mm, nothing,
Nothing to do with the outside.
nothing. And we know that, but it's not easy to
We
not
don't
accept.
know that. We don't know that. Belong to.
Yeah, belong to, exactly. You belong to, that's what I'm saying. You belong to this club, this culture, this
So there's
religion.
there's actually not a true understanding that belonging is internal. I
You
think
even belong to
belonging,
your name. Think about it. You belong to your
huh?
name. Yeah.
Yeah. I think belonging is when you finally when you finally experience yourself,
Mm.
then
And,
you know your own beauty and your own perfection. That word now is coming in a very different way.
mm,
The perfection of your
imperfect
creation. Yeah.
of your creation. That's it, yeah. And it's this feeling, the feeling we were talking about earlier? That's, I'm feeling that
Same
that's,
thing, the calm, grounded. You're in the same place as me. Of course you are. Yeah.
and even when the fear comes up, because it will,
Mm.
because we still have this physical form and we still have a brain that's about survival.
Yeah. Like thinking about social media, I'm like,
Yes. But I'm thinking what I'm realizing is when those come up now, it's getting easier to respond differently, like not to let it sway you like a tree in the wind. Like see it, it's here. Okay. So it's almost like the space between the reaction, fear, you react, but it's sort of giving you a real authentic space with to just which says either I respond or I don't.
Mm.
Um, it's that space. And that's what I was saying earlier, the courage maybe to live in that space more is, I think, what the evolution is saying. Because it's not known. It's like think of the space yesterday. It's a bit of a surprise. So that's what I'm or the journey that I'm just in at the moment is what if it's more risk, not more risk, having more courage to just wait and be in that space a bit more, or not act, or not. I know it sounds silly, like it's not about not taking action,
No.
but I
No,
mean,
it is. It is actually about that.
it is actually not that, yeah.
Because the people always talk about in the spiritual, like, oh, aligned action, aligned action. It is not this. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
it's like, there's been a real sense of peace that I've experienced in the last few weeks, or week, or 2 weeks, or, because I'm finally realizing that, I mean, we knew it, like the inner work. That's why we bet all our chips, right, on this journey.
That's, I think that's
We
the
we
best
went we
way
went
of
all
saying,
in, but we didn't know.
yeah,
Like
that's the best way of saying it. When I'm saying risk, I love the way you put it. We bet all our chips
we put all our chips on
this
this thing,
journey.
right? On this journey. And we knew it somewhere, but we didn't also, like, there was so much other stuff that we had to let go of in order to really, like, now know it. And there are moments where we knew it, and then of course the other stuff came up, right? 5 years, Z, 5 years of work.
years of work. Actually, it's a whole lifetime of work.
Of course, but you know
For
what I
like
mean, right? We, me and you have been doing the, seriously
five
at 5 years. And I
years.
think it's like that's where the peace has come because now I'm like, you know what, Neha, you actually are doing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not, you know, right. Like I remember the beginning of the year, I told my mom, I'm like, this is the year that I'm not accepting to be struggling financially anymore. Like I just can't.
Yeah.
I want to be well. I want to be well,
Yeah.
you know? I want to be full of wellness, and that's also financially. Like, I don't want to be like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, Mom, this is the year. So if you could take some pressure off one, two, three, like this is the year, and that's it. And if I don't do it this year, if I'm not doing well this year, then okay, fine, I'll get a job. Fine, I
Yeah.
accept, I'll get a job. And you know what's so funny? I've done nothing. I've not worked on my website. I've not I've not done anything. I've not done any of the things that I thought I was gonna do. Literally, I've not taught a single thing this year, apart from maybe at a festival, Kilifi. I think there was a festival in February. But I started to realize, no, 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 I'm doing it. I'm absolutely doing everything I need to be doing. And you know what? Right now, like the money's okay. Like I could literally go to the shop and buy olive oil. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I can fix my car. So I'm actually okay. And strangely enough, like clients have been coming more. And I don't, I know there's like this, right? But I also feel it's something about me becoming who I more stepping
Mm.
into, like more of this becoming is happening to me. And that's why people are coming more.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so I'm experiencing that knowledge now.
Mm.
I'm experiencing that knowing. What's coming up for me with what you're saying is, like for me, it is this expressing. It's this expression that is actually a key
Mm.
to me, as you said, belonging,
Mm.
realizing my belonging. And that's why for me, in some cases, it is about certain expressive action. Like yesterday was an expressive action of some sort, even though it wasn't very expressive in some ways, right? Like overtly, it's not overtly, like it's not like a poster. I put a poster up or something. But I expressed held a space that expresses who I am or what I believe.
Mm.
But for you, it is through is another path.
It's a different, yeah, it's almost a
It's not
real.
about, so there will be no action that will be involved in your belonging process.
Mm.
Um, it's more of the breaking, that breaking,
Great.
because, and
Mm.
I think it's just showing you how sensitive you are, how sensitive you are. You have a level of sensitivity that is extremely powerful. And that's why you had to close so much, because you were
Mm.
told
Mm.
that how much you're feeling is not allowed and is
Mm.
weak and is wrong and all those things.
Mm.
But it's like, this is where your superpower is. This is where you
Mm.
feel from. You know what I mean?
That
So I
makes
think I think it will have also an impact in your work, in how you show up in your work, whether it's
mm.
the coaching or the art. And obviously right now the art is more alive for you
Mm.
because I think it's more authentic. Like there's no structure, mental structure that anybody else has to put on your art. Whereas in the
Mm.
coaching space, there's still some mental structures from other people.
Mm.
I still think that you're going to release all those structures over time and you're going to create your own spaces. But I think maybe
Mm.
the art is the pathway
I
for
think
you.
so. I think so because I'm expressing more through it, the authentic voice, authentic expression. And I'm also finding, what's interesting, talking about the money, is so there's one coaching project that I'm busy with that I've had, and then there were two opportunities that came up. And at the beginning of the year, I said, I wonder what would happen if I was able to just create until June with no coaching. And those two projects have not materialized. So, so I'm like a little bit, and then it's taken me into this fear of the income, then I'm like, oh, I have to follow up, and I haven't followed up. And I'm like, okay, chips in. I'm not going to follow up. I'm just going to just continue expressing through the art, the images that come through. And that's interesting. It's opened up two spaces of visibly showing the art, but another space it's a really beautiful energetic couple that they've opened the space near here called Art Found Us and welcomed the pieces in there. And they've got that African energy, that we talk about the consciousness of Africa and the evolution of Africa, and they just represent that. And the way that that space came to them and how they created it, manifested, and it's quite incredible. But the point is, the message is being embraced, the message behind the pieces, as you did. And so, so I'm just continuing on that path. And I'm like, it's not even the first. And my bank account's not looking 100%, but I'm not going to follow up because I know that those two, if they go, they go. I've sent what I needed to send for it. So I'm not like doubting myself in those projects. I'm just like, okay, chips in, chips in. I want to see where this path goes. I've got food, I've got air, I've got a beautiful space. My dog is healthy. I've got petrol in my car. So, so let's just explore that space. And what's so interesting, Naya, is that this feeling, this breaking open, this love is the same. I'm getting the information and intuition. It's the same abundance. It's the same energy. It's the same thing. So that's why when you read all these teachings about love is all, and not love as we define it in the form in this world, but that quiet space, that is all. So that resonates, the abundance, the flow, the expression. It's the same thing.
Something is coming up for me as you're speaking, which is that if there is some fear there, it's important to allow it.
Mm. Mm.
So it could be a river of love that carries, some, I just see it like some black stuff. You know what I mean? Like the river carries different things. So you're experiencing that river of love, but there's also maybe some pieces there that are
Mm.
not that need to be processed and transmuted and through you. So also just to say that yeah, because those pieces, by the way, they have something for you. Um, I feel like those are, I see it so visually. Like I see this river and I see water and then I see this black gunky thing. And then when you allow it through you, like the gunky thing, what you do is you remove the gunky thing, and underneath that gunky thing is like a jewel. And that jewel, you're supposed to take it and adorn your tiara or your third eye jewelry or whatever it is.
I'm doing it with you as you speak. Yeah, carry on. I'm doing the visualization actually as you speak.
Yeah, as you allow that gunky feeling of, because there's trauma there, there's past life memory there, there's
Mm.
real pain. There's also pain there. And the pain is not only about money, the pain can also be about the unfairness of the world or so many other things. So you want to also I feel like you're almost like you're a bridge, something that allows water to pass through it. It's not a bridge, it's not the right word. Like, you know what I mean? And you're like
Mm.
two cliffs or something. That's who your body is. And you have to hold your body like cliffs, that just that earth element, grounded, rooted, and allowing the water to pass through you. And yeah, a lot of that water is the truth, is the experience that you're experiencing of the truth that you're experiencing, the love, that. But again, there's also that gunky thing, and allow that gunky thing to come up. Allow it, allow it, allow it. And it's not only yours, it's also for the collective. We are actually gateways, and we are connected to everything. And it's almost different. You can't even distinguish what is yours and what is collective or anybody else's. And allow it, and just move it through you, move it through you. Um, and as you move it through you, it gets cleansed. And slowly the beauty of the wisdom or the lesson or the truth inside of that is also revealed. And then that thing becomes like something that you ornament yourself with, is it? Like adorn yourself with, and it becomes a part of you. So yeah, so also to say that I think abundance is the end state, but it's not the process.
It's not the process. Um, a lot has actually come up and resonated with that now. So, the first is the black stuff. So what you've brought into my awareness, because it's very easy for me to think away the black stuff into something else, is again just to experience that. And that it's part of this process. It's part of the breaking. Everything's like breaking open. So thank you for that. And I want to just explore it a bit deeper
Mhm.
because two things come to mind actually. One, the word transparent. Transparent has come up in just some of the stuff I've been listening to. But also if you imagine the heart space as transparent, like glass, like it's not form, that's been
Mhm.
coming a lot. So that thing around the bridge, it's just like even like a transparent mesh. It's like this space is breaking open to be transparent. And then the collective piece. So last night I was watching the documentary Ocean, David Attenborough. It's a new one. And he talks about that the ocean can actually save the planet and all the new stuff that they've learned. It's an amazing piece.
Okay.
It, it's really good to watch. And then they just talk about at the end how the ocean is able to regenerate itself. So if they could protect 30% of the ocean, which apparently they've now agreed to do after seeing this documentary, it could regenerate and help. But they also show the devastation to the ocean. So what trawlers are doing. So they say there's like 400,000 trawlers across all oceans. It used to be limited. And what it's doing to the sea, to the animals in there. My heart is broken. I was sitting there and I was like, and normally I would just switch channels. I'd be like, I can't do this. But I sat and I watched. And my heart was just like, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this? Like, voluntarily just creating so much pain and just like no thought. And then, so it ends really well with a possible solution, but it's that pain. You've just brought that into my space. It's that pain that is the next breaking. Because the bank account now, it has to be low for me to, and I know it's not going to go quickly to get those projects, which I always do. Okay, then that's sorted. It's not that. Now in this space, that's the opportunities. Now, okay, go in there, be broken, break. Um, so
Oh
my
man.
so in for that, yeah.
You know, I feel you're realizing that you need to be in an empty space because if you're
In-
too full, you keep holding on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I also realize for me, I'm supposed to be empty with food, and I'm not doing it because my nose. This is all the sinus stuff, you know. It's all inflammation, and if I just fast for 3 to 5 days, like literally no food, I know it's not, you know.
Mm.
And let me not put pressure on myself. Hopefully, it will just I'll be ready at a certain moment.
I
But
think it will come as
it'll just come.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm noticing that the resistance to that creates a lot more tension than just the intention for it. I'm noticing that those changes actually come with a journey.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting you say that because I'm also now I've also had this desire just to eat less. I have been eating less, but less food, less stuff. But I mean, I love eating. I don't cook, but I like eating. And
I'm getting hungry faster, maybe because we're doing so much inner work. So maybe
also,
once that inner process is done, then we will be able to eat less because maybe we need the sustenance right now because we're doing so much transformation internally.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, you know, as you're speaking about this oceans thing, I was thinking about the temple and really it's a transmutation space. At least that's how I'm thinking about it. I don't know if that's the right thing for it, but it's basically where you take pain and you move it into love. And so I want to offer that for you too. Like, you know, the ocean, you can take all that pain you experienced and you can literally heal the ocean with it.
You know what the insights that's come through now from what you've just said is that that pain is actually grounded in love.
It is, that's exactly what I said yesterday. It's
You wouldn't,
just another side of love.
you wouldn't feel the pain if you didn't, like if I didn't
Love.
have love for the ocean or
It's
nature,
ex-
I
Grief
wouldn't.
is the other side of love. Sadness is the other side of loss, which is the other side of love. You know, like all of this is love. And so all we need to do, what we can do with it is we can use it to love. And so what I took everybody through yesterday was loving whoever they wanted to, whether it was a place far away, whether it was people in your own country, whether it's your family member, whether it's yourself, like whoever you feel you need to love, whatever places you feel you need to love. Like I just took them through that journey of moving and even through the whole world. You know, I wish I had recorded it, but maybe you'll come to the next one.
Mm, mm,
And that is why your heart breaking is so is actually like I just feel it's just showing how powerful your heart is. Like the fact that your heart breaking is the key is
mm,
also showing how powerful your heart is. Maybe it's the heart because it's also maybe everybody's heart is so powerful, but yours in particular is where your power is.
mm.
I mean, I know it's for me too, also in some ways, but obviously there must be a lot here. I don't know, but because that's where our power is. That's where everything comes from. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, everything comes from makes, I'm being shown that more and more that it's all
Just a
home.
form of love. Yeah.
It's just love, but it's actually everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like, the other thing I'm learning is there are no mistakes.
Mm,
So let's say you do go into following up with this. Like
mm.
also one thing I want you to that is coming up for me is don't make it a challenge.
What?
So like not following up with this
Oh
project or
yeah.
whatever. Don't make it like I cannot because it's wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because in
No,
a
no.
certain moment, it could become
Mm,
right.
mm, mm,
So don't make it like now if I do this, it's failing this whole test, and which is what I do. You know,
mm.
you know what I mean? I can do that. I'm like, it's a test if
And
I fast or whatever, yeah. But it's
yeah, no, I
like
get you, yeah.
it will just come. It will come. Whatever is natural, whatever's right for you in the moment. Because maybe it's not the moment, and that's what you're seeing, feeling, and experiencing.
Mm. Might come later. I don't know.
You know what's interesting is that for you, the art will take you
Mm,
to the relationship, I feel, in the sense that it's actually about your relationship to self
mm,
in the world. And for me, I think it's this whole relationship thing that is
mm,
taking me into the expression, into the art.
mm, mm. Yeah, because that's bringing everything up for you. The whole relationship, the energies, the dynamics, the
The truth, because I'm speaking my truth.
levels.
Because
Yeah,
it's the pathway through which I'm speaking my truth.
that's true. And I'm speaking my truth through the.
Through your art.
Mm. Sure, Neha.
So beautiful.
So beautiful. And don't you feel that same
I can feel everything flowing.
energy
It's
flow?
it's
Yeah.
like I just feel all these colors, and all these colors are just these beautiful emotions, and they're all flowing.
And they're very still, hey?
They're moving, but they're so still. Like they're still. I don't know. They're moving, but they're still. It's so strange.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly it. They're moving and alive, but
Yeah,
still, it's very difficult to describe actually.
it's just beautiful.
So and so so calm, peaceful. Oh, centered.